We have Praise Kwame, a writer from Ghana. Dokudolo Selewani from Liberia. So just relax and then see what we have to present to you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning again.
I just said earlier, my name is Tuloba Jaya from Nigeria. I'm going to read Elephant. Today, all I have to do is very simple. My team is doing their job very well. So what I'm going to be doing is presenting the findings to my team based on yesterday's exercise. First off, I want to thank Lion for doing my job. Thank you very much. So, we're going to be talking about the statistical analysis of the quality of candidates. So now let's look at candidates that we selected in our group. First one, which is very exciting, is Cohort. And I'll be having my co-speaker speak about it.
On Wednesday, around mid-evening, there was a flight that presidential flight was carrying the president to Rwanda. And 4 minutes before the flight landed, it was shot from its flight. Everybody on board the flight lost their lives. Minutes and hours later, on the 7th of April, the same period, 1994, a genocide began in the land of Rwanda. Over 500,000 people lost their lives. It was a period of Easter on a Wednesday, as people were expecting to enter into the Good Friday festival. And this event spared the life of men, women, and children in the land of Rwanda. Interestingly, it's continued for 100 days. The international community, African Union, UN, never did anything about it. But it was just a man that was from not a majority group, but the minority group of the Tutsis. This war has slaughtered over 500,000 of the Tutsis in the land of Rwanda. He stood up, got rebel forces, and then he ended the genocide in the land of Rwanda. And I'm glad to introduce to you a visionary by the name of Paul Kagame. What I'm trying to say Paul Kagame, when he ended the genocide, the beautiful thing about him was that he withdrew himself, set up an independent committee, and organized an election in this land. And interestingly, within few months, a new president was elected peacefully, but he was nominated as for the vice president. It shows a leader with softness. He didn't overcome and take powers like most African leaders did. That is selflessness. The beautiful thing about him is also his proactiveness. When you go to Kigali, after spending 2 weeks in Kigali in the month of August, I came to realize that Kigali today is the most beautiful city and famous in Africa. Kigali is growing at a rate of 7% per annum in terms of GDP. He's transforming Africa, and the beautiful thing about him is a man of vision. When he came into power in the year 2004 as president, he had a vision to make Rwanda a middle-income country by the year 2020. And with a GDP of 7% per annum, he is fast moving to that vision, and that is a very good thing. The beautiful thing about him is also he's proactive, like I said. When you get to Kigali, my weeks of spending two weeks of spending a holiday in Kigali, like each one that in every Saturday of the month, first Saturday of the month is a general clinic. And the beautiful thing about it is that for Kagame, it's also in the streets, in the drainage systems, leading proactively and then what? Keeping the city clean. And if the president is doing that, it's a sure proactive way to get people on board. And that's the way to really. You also have realized that interesting place there is a land called Umaganda, a village, Umaganda. Let me share this story and check it out. Umaganda is a town where the government of Rwanda has invested in them, give them varieties of crops to plant. But the beautiful thing and sad thing actually about it was that there was a drought at that period, and most of the farmers lost their crops. And it was so fantastic. The government have invested in them, they lost the crops. What happened was that Paul Kagame went into that village and spent about a month with them, helped them recultivate the land personally on board with his ministers, and we were rebuilding our same farmland. And I think that is dedicatedness. We believe that this is a leader for the youth to relate for. He's a leader who is alive today. Not like others are alive, but they still have laid down foundations for us. He's a leader who is inspirational and who is motivating the youth. Think about it. Since the last 16 years, after he came to power, his government's budgets donates or reserves 16% of the annual budget for education alone. How many governments do that for education alone? And the university have gone from one university to 21 universities over the period of 6 years. This person who is visionary. And for that, we are putting on the house to look after this leader for a better tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I was enjoying my presentation so much I had to say. Okay. Next leader on the screen is Nelson Mandela. I don't think I have to say anything about Nelson Mandela. Like I said, Andrew, thank you. But I wasn't stressed. Was that in our group yesterday, we divided into our river groups. And we found out that two river groups independently selected Mandela as their favorite leader. So he's saying something to me. That this guy was doing something right. If independently in our smaller groups, in the same room, two different smaller groups said that Mandela was the favorite. And based on what the Lions was presenting, I think that we can see so much that we can learn from and the third on the screen is I don't have the right to do justice to that particular personality, so I will let my co-speaker do that.
Thank you ever so much. On January 15 of 1929, the world experienced a triumphant birth. The Christians who have been happy, and Jesus Christ was born. The Muslims who have been happy, Muhammad was born. It was the same to civil rights movement when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was born. On April 4th, a sad thing happened. The Christians who have been sad when Jesus was crucified. The Christians who have been sad when the Muslims who have been sad when Muhammad was also born. A sad thing happened to civil rights movement when Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King was also assassinated. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you this character, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. A man who stood for something. The man who took the cause of the world on his shoulder. The man who saw hope in the midst of hopelessness. The man who saw peace when there seems to be no peace. The man who was moved by actions, by proactiveness. The man who wanted change, but did not see it as an event, but saw it as a process. That is why, in one of his many speeches, after he felt that he had done so well, He said, I have been to the mountaintop. But surprisingly, he said, I may not get there with you. But if you do, it's a good thing to maintain yourself there. And one thing I love of this man was is that in the midst of violence, in the era of violence of the order of the day, racial discrimination was high. He stood for non-violence. How many of us African leaders are willing to exemplify such today? Certainly not us. Either will be jailed for speaking our ideas, or either will be run out of our countries for what we believe in. But Dr. King led over 5,000 Negroes, as they were called, to a peaceful march where he gave his famous I Have a Dream speech. And in that dream, he said, "We had a dream that one day this nation would turn to the right course. He said, I have a dream that my full little children will live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin." Well, he really talking about his children. Certainly not his children, but he was talking about Nigerians. He was talking about Ugandans. I really see that man exemplified today. Certainly we are. And to tell you that everything that the king stood for have worked. Barack Obama brought that together. We can keep proud to emulate the good example of Dr. King, especially when it comes to integrity, especially when it comes to persistency, especially when it comes to willingness to be a servant. I will close with one of his favorite quotes that he said. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at the times of challenge and controversy. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. King.
After looking at these three leaders in our group, we put them to a multiple test. We came up with 10 attributes of effective leaders. The first was integrity. The second for my group was vision. The third was effective communication. The fourth was selflessness. The fifth was being proactive. The sixth was the ability to make decisions. The seventh was being influential. The eighth was persistence. The ninth was was inspiration, and the tenth was being rational. As you can see, we have the percentages in pie chart. Next slide, please. Right. So we put this on the pie chart to show what we thought were the most important qualities of the leaders and which ones they used to change. But first, I would say this. That we came to a consensus in my class that every single attribute of this leader can be learned. They can be taught and they can be learned. So before anybody tells you that you cannot learn how to have vision, you might need to check what leadership schools are teaching. They're teaching the art of drawing vision. I know something in Nigeria called the scratch board. It is actually something used to teach the ability to draw or vision. So vision can be learned. Integrity, there are schools that teach you how to have integrity. There are schools that teach you how to be persistent. There are schools that measure your selflessness skills. So all of these things, we believe that it can be learned. Now, moving on to our moving on to our chart, we believe that 90% of our class believe that we said 90% of the class believe that integrity was the biggest trait that a leader needed to have. Moving closely to that was vision. 80% of the class said vision was important. Without vision, there's no leadership. And of course, we moved on to say effective communication was important. And then selflessness was also very important. Moving on to the less used one, talk about proactiveness, decision making, and being influential. Of course, being influential and being persistent actually ranks the same in our group, which was funny because I was wondering why would we say that being influential and being persistent ranks the same? But then I realized is that for you to be influential, you have to be persistent. Because at the end of the time, when you say something for the first time, people are not going to listen to you. So you have to say it again and again, and they have to see that you mean it, and then they buy it to you. Now, to us, we rank inspiration and being rational as the least used. Because Because most of the time, most leaders are not necessarily rational. Trust me, if you've ever had to lead a group, somebody has asked you the same. Because you're going to be taking decisions that do not go with the status quo. So you're going to challenge your status quo. And to do that, you're going to have to throw rationality out of the window any lot. So yes, a lot of the leaders, you said that rationality was really, really big. Listen. Alright. Conclusive. We can see that this 10 attributes are attributes that we can learn and every leader needs. So we're elegant, we're peaceful, we're strong, and we're leaders of change. Thank you. You check everywhere. Elephants are peaceful. They are doing it's just from their side, they relate to message. And from the leaders that we've just spoken about, or rather, why what is just spoken about. You might see most leaders are popular in things, but there's a saying that what you continuously hear, what you continuously hear, settles in your heart. And what settles in your heart automatically settles in your heart. You want to impact change. You want to bring about change in your situation. Keep on studying about these leaders while you study about yourself as a leader and current leaders. Let how they inspire us. Let what you have learned settle in your heart and you settle in your life. Then you can begin to see the changes. Please, the floor is open for questions.
Thank you very much. The peaceful group.